Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. I'm Booster John and behind me is my 2008 Honda Civic Si Coupe, otherwise known as the FG2. In my previous video, I went ahead and repainted this entire car DIY in my garage at home. One of the most labor-intensive jobs I've ever taken on in my entire life, and today I'm going to be sharing with you guys exactly how much it costs and every single item that I purchased for this job, and at the end I'm going to tell you a grand total. Once I'm done breaking down the cost, I'm going to share with you guys any imperfections that I have in the finished product, and I'm going to share with you guys any major challenges that I experienced throughout the painting process. If you guys like this video or learned something new, please consider liking the video and subscribing. Also, links in the description down below to every single item that I use in this entire project, in case you're interested in doing this on your own car. All right, first, let's go over what I thought it was going to cost. Dated May 1st, 2023, this is what I wrote down for an estimate. Mask, $30. Spray gun, $100. Paint suit, $20. Paint strainer, $10. Air water separator, $30. Paint booth, $45. DIY paint booth, plastic, whatever I needed to make a paint booth, $45. Sanding handle, or like thing that you would put sandpaper on to hand sand with, $20. Paint, $600. Grand total estimate of... Sorry to interrupt, but I have a quick word from this video's sponsor, which is Throtl. Throtl is giving away their Honda S2000 plus $20,000 cash, and all you have to do to enter to have a chance to win their S2000 and $20,000 cash is click the link in the description down below to get up to 15% off your entire order. Purchase a car part or anything on Throtl's website. Every dollar spent is one entry to have a chance to win the S2000 and $20,000 cash. It's a no-brainer. Click the link down below, up to 15% off your order, and get entered for a chance to win. Back to the video for that grand total. Grand total estimate of $855. Leave a comment down below with your guess to what the actual grand total ends up being. I'm actually super curious to see if you guys are gonna be way over or way under the actual grand total. All right, I'm gonna try to go in order of how I actually purchased these items, because you'll start to see that I start to purchase more stuff that I didn't think I would need later on. Medium urethane reducer, 1 gallon, $48.99. Finish 1 FC 740 clear coat, 1 gallon, $89.99. 3-in-1 primer, 1 can, $17.99. Finish 1 FH 742 medium clear coat hardener, 1 quart. I was running a 4-to-1, so 4 parts clear coat, 1 part hardener, $39.99. Prep ball, wax and grease remover, $16.99. 8 sheets of 400 grit sandpaper, $9.20. Sunfire Pro SSB or base coat, half a gallon for $246. Paint thinner to clean the $18.99. That was everything I bought at the automotive restoration shop. Then I went to Harbor Freight and picked up everything else I thought I was gonna need. I bought Dremel discs for $9.89, tack rags, $5.16, Bondo spreaders, $2.99, air water separator filter thing, $5.99, way cheaper than I thought it was gonna be. $29.99, also way cheaper than I thought it was gonna be. Plastic to build the spray booth, $29.99. I just bought 1 roll at Harbor Freight. Then I went to Home Depot and bought a respirator and goggles. Respirator was $29.98 and goggles were $6.48. I quickly realized I was gonna run out of primer and I didn't have the right types of sandpaper. So I went ahead and bought 3 more cans of primer for $58.29. I bought a 4-pack of 80 grit sandpaper for $6.98, a 10-pack of 800 grit sandpaper for $8.98. I bought frog tape to mask off the car for $8.98. And then my brother was coming over to help, so I bought him a mask so that he wouldn't be inhaling all the dust while we were sanding. Those were $6.98. Right before I was about to pull the car into the garage to start painting, I decided that I should put plastic on the ceiling of the garage to really seal off the spray booth area. So I bought another roll of plastic for $33.06. Sanding block, $7.99. Lid for paint cup, $159. 4-pack of 220 grit sandpaper, $5.99. 4-pack of 180 grit sandpaper, $5.99. After painting the body of the car, I ran out of paint, so I had to go back to the automotive restoration shop and buy another quart. The next quart of base coat cost me $137.43, and that was everything to get me through the painting process. Already quite a bit, but in order to finish the project, I still needed quite a few more things that I did not anticipate. Since my front bumper fell off of the stand that I had it on while the paint was drying, it ended up having a defect and I had to fix it. I could either sand the whole thing back down and respray it, or I could take a chance with some wet sanding and a polisher to see if I could make it look at least mostly better. That's the option that I chose to go with. So I bought a 6-inch polisher from Harbor Freight for $69.99. I bought a 6-inch foam cutting disc for $6.79, 1500 grit sandpaper for $4.99. I believe that's a 8-pack. 2000 grit sandpaper, $4.99. I believe that's also an 8-pack. And then lastly, to finish up some of the plastics that were faded and to get the front and rear lips on, I got some plastic paint for $14.79, double-sided tape for $13.99, and a different roll of double-sided tape for $14.99. That is everything that I bought to paint this car, not including tax. The total amount of tax that I paid was $69.80, with a materials total of $1,076.97. That comes out to a grand total of $1,146.77 to DIY paint this car in my garage at home. Now, we can't just leave it at that, because that does not factor in my labor whatsoever. I'm gonna just use a modest hourly rate for this calculation of $24.50 an hour for my labor rate. Let's just say that's what I'm at. We're gonna say that this job took about 78 hours, including filming, sanding, prepping, painting, prepping, painting, prepping, painting, just going crazy with the prep. About 78 hours of work. Comes out to $1,788 in labor cost. On screen is the grand total for the materials, and also the grand total for the materials plus my estimated labor cost of $2,934.77. So let's just say that this paint job on this car is roughly a $3,000 paint job. Does it look like a $3,000 paint job? No, it probably does not look like a $3,000 paint job. If I paid $3,000 for a paint job and it looked like this car right here, I would be upset. I didn't pay $3,000 for this paint job. I did it myself and I paid $1,100 for this paint job. Was it worth it? For me, it was probably worth it, because this is what I do. I'm here to work on cars to create videos for you guys. For you, I don't know. It depends on how much free time you have and what your priorities are. I'm not gonna use this opportunity to tell you, yeah, you should 100% paint your car yourself, because it is an obscene amount of work. The 11-minute video that I posted before this one was created with about 15 or 16 hours of footage. And I didn't even film things like prepping and painting the mirror caps, prepping and painting the front grille, prepping and painting the emblems. That video makes this job look easy. That video does not show me sanding my car until midnight one night and then sanding my car until 3 a.m. the next night. It was seriously the most labor-intensive job I've ever done on anything in my entire life. I would never attempt this job ever again unless I had help and electric sanders. But what I will say is that I am definitely satisfied with my end product. Am I mind blown by it? Am I like head over heels excited about the end result? Probably not, but I am very satisfied with it. I do have quite a few defects. I do have quite a few mistakes and mess ups that I'm gonna notice probably more than anybody else. Some of them are still fixable. Some of them are like my front bumper. Like I said, I did not take the time to respray it, so it is not perfect. There are a lot of areas on this car that are not perfect. The reason that I'm still very satisfied with this end result, with all the defects, is because I'm gonna be tracking this car. It's gonna get beat up on track, and my main goal here was to fix all the peel and clear coat. Also, I said I was gonna wrap this car. In order to wrap this car, I would have had to do almost all the same prep work anyway, and I still would have had to primer pretty much the entire car. Now that it has paint on it, all I'm gonna have to do if I wanna wrap this car is wash it and then vinyl wrap it. So now wrapping this car is gonna be so much easier. At the end of this video, I'm gonna just leave like a couple of clips highlighting some challenges that I faced throughout the painting process, just unnarrated. I'm just gonna put them in. If you guys wanna check them out, feel free. Again, links to all materials in the description down below. I might have like a link tree because there's a ton of stuff on here. So I might have like, there might be a link tree link that'll take you to maybe a Google Doc or something where I have all of the links laid out. And maybe I'll just have some of the more major items in the description down below. Thank you guys for watching. Again, please consider liking this video and subscribing if you learned something new or enjoyed it. I'm Boosted John. We deserve nothing, earn everything. I don't want anyone to think that I'm hiding the imperfections in my paint job, because there are a few that I need to point out. Right here on the trunk, this was the first major one that I noticed. This was on the last coat of clear coat, and this was the last panel that I was spraying. Big mistake. Didn't know what happened until after the fact, but because I used a Harbor Freight air water separator, all the water that had built up inside the filter backfilled into the air hose when I tilted the gun down to spray the trunk, and now I'm left with a nice textured finish on my trunk and rear quarter. I may be able to sand this down and buff it. It might work, I'm not sure, but that is a big one. Next, I missed a couple of dents. There's one right here above the door handle that you can see. There's a drip right here on the door. It's kind of hard to see on camera. There's a drip right here on the front fender behind the headlight. A lot of deep sanding scratches. You guys can kind of see that on where the light is on the screen right now. A lot of deep sanding scratches from that finishing sander that I was using. I don't recommend using that sander. And then again, the front bumper is nice and peppered. That's my fault. And I don't really feel like respraying it, to be honest with you. I might in the future at some point, but not yet. The hood came out all right, no major complaints there. Orange peel kind of threw out the entire paint job. It'll need a wet sand and a buff. We got a big piece of debris in the paint right there. That one's really bad. I think we have some more like moisture in the line over here because it gets kind of hazy on the door. Again, I might be able to wet sand and buff that out, but I'm not sure. A little bit runny down there. I did not fill this dent very well. You can see a dent right there. It's not very good. And again, more haziness right here. Oh, you guys are seeing my feet. I'm sorry. Again, more haziness right here on the door. There's more dents up here that I could have done a better job filling. And that is the majority of it. The trunk is a little bit wonky too, where the emblems were. It's really hard to see because the car is already dirty and I washed it today. And I did not paint the spoiler, so it does not match very nicely, which is, again, my own mistake. Again, I'm still really satisfied with the end result because I painted this car in my garage in like the worst conditions possible. It was 70% humidity the day that I painted the car. It was 65 degrees. It had rained in the morning. And there was road construction going on all the way down my entire street. The entire road is gravel and dirt and dust flying throughout the air. Obviously, you have to rate it on a scale of like all paint jobs. So no, this is not a $3,000 paint job, like I said, but I'm happy with it. And for 1,100 bucks, for me, it was worth it. The amount of labor time and the amount of work that it took to do it, I don't know if that was worth it. Time will tell based on how these videos do, but I will say that it sucked. And I do not want to do it again anytime soon. Again, unless I have help. Or an electric sander. or an electric sander. Now I'm gonna go ahead and let those clips roll of any like, challenges I faced during the painting process. Enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, so I have finished sanding the bumper. The prep work is a lot, and that's pretty much just what I'm gonna have to do. All right, so this marks day 2 of painting the 8th gen project. I think I'm gonna do like a quick update log at the beginning of every new day working on this project.
It's not dry enough yet, so I gotta stop.
All right, guys, today marks day 3 of painting the 8th gen project. And yeah, this is a large project. I already knew going into this that this was gonna be a ton of work, like a stupid amount of work. I only have about literally 2 weeks yesterday till automotion. And I'm not even done prepping the rear lip. The rear bumper is done, it's off camera. That's ready to be painted pretty much. I just gotta wash it and it's good to go. As you guys saw, I tried to sand this Bondo the other night and it ended up being not dry enough. Last night was my grandma's birthday, so I didn't come here and work at all. And today, I have been blessed with an absolutely beautiful day outside. It's like 70 degrees or something. Sun's out, garage door's open, check it out. And I'm gonna just be grinding today. It is already almost 1 o'clock, but I plan to be here till probably midnight tonight working. I'm gonna be here very late. I'm just absolutely full sending it. I'm gonna make a pot of coffee once I get tired and going ham. My goal for today is to get as far as I possibly can. I'm gonna for sure finish the lip right off the bat. Then I'm gonna pull the front bumper off the 8th gen. I'm gonna try to see if I can get the fitment better on the front lip because the fitment is trash. If I can't get it to fit right, then I don't know what we're gonna do because I don't really like the way that the front of this car looks without that front lip. After I'm done with the lip, I'm gonna pull the front bumper off of the 8th gen and start prepping that. My plan is to prep the front bumper, front lip, rear bumper, and hood, and probably spoiler. So 6 pieces off of the car. We're gonna take those pieces home because Mark said that I'm not allowed to paint in this garage. And we're gonna spray the panels at home. We're gonna be doing, I think, probably all of the prep work on the body of the car as well here. So I'm gonna get to work. I got a lot of sanding to do. All right, so by now I have almost run out of work to do tonight. I have a couple more things that I can still get done. For example, these are the like side mirror skull caps. I sanded them down. I'm gonna clean them. I'll primer them. Since they're technically bare plastic, they have to be fully primered before I paint. Then the primer will have to get sanded. Also, probably the biggest problem two biggest problems actually that I'm running into right now. Number 1, I think that with the front bumper, Jesus, I didn't put enough hardener in the Bondo. And so some of it is taking a very, very long time to dry. Some of it may never dry because I actually can see some gray spots in the Bondo, which means that there's no hardener in that section of the Bondo that I laid down, meaning that that section literally may never dry. That really sucks. It's a big setback if that ends up being the case. So I'm gonna just not touch the front bumper until tomorrow. So front bumper's out for now, can't really work on that. Next big problem I'm running into is the entire front lip is unpainted and it's just bare plastic. I sanded it down and it's ready to go, but I have to primer the entire thing because it's bare plastic. Now that wouldn't be that big of a problem if I had more than 1 can of primer for this entire job. When I bought primer, I was thinking that I was just gonna be spot priming a lot of stuff, you know, spot priming over Bondo, spot priming over bare metal, spot priming over bare plastic. And I didn't think that I was gonna need that much primer, but I'm already almost out and all I have used primer on is the rear lip and rear bumper. So I'm gonna need more primer, 100%. I might have enough left right now to do these skull caps, but I might not even have enough for these. I'm gonna try. I'll have to run out first thing tomorrow morning and get more primer. The only problem is the place where I bought all the paint is about 45 minutes away, which kind of sucks. It's kind of a nice drive, so I don't mind it, but it is still far. So I guess I'll pick up some more materials tomorrow morning. For now, I will primer these skull caps. I'll get these prepped and ready to go. And then I might even pull the car in and pull the wrap off of the hood. God, that hurts. I really don't want to pull the wrap off the hood because I did such a nice job on my first try at wrapping anything. But I'm painting the whole car, which means I'm painting the hood, which means I gotta take the wrap off so I can sand the hood and do Bondo work and prep the hood. I'm getting closer, guys. I got a lot of wood to chop, but I'm chopping wood. All right, day 4. Come on. I just drove out to the paint shop where I bought all the paint for this car because, as I said, I ran out of primer, so I got more. This is the primer that I'm using. I drove 45 minutes to go get this because it is freaking awesome. It's been great to spray down and sand, and it actually sands really well, so it was worth the drive. Now, last night you guys saw me kind of grind down this door to see the damage underneath. And I realized today that there's actually more damage lower. I'm gonna have to take out more of this door. And as you guys remember, the front bumper is Bondoed. I just have to now sand it all down. That is probably the last thing on the list of things to do for this car that I am absolutely dreading doing. I'm really not looking forward to sanding all that Bondo that is on the front bumper because it is an obnoxious amount of Bondo. And then lastly, like I said, I picked up primer so I can finally primer the front lip and we can sand down the primer that's on the rear lip. So I have a lot to do today. Today is Saturday, May 6th. Automotion is on the 19th. I hope to be spraying this car by Monday. I think prepping the body is gonna go pretty quick. All right, it is 11:04 p.m. I just finished drinking an entire cup of coffee. I'm pretty beat right now, I'm not gonna lie, but I still have a ton of work to do and I'm just gonna keep going. Off camera, I just Bondoed the body. I sanded down all the spots that were gonna need to be body filled, and then I just body filled those spots. I still have to sand the rest of the chassis, the rest of the car, but I'll show you what I'm talking about. So for example, this was that big area on the door. I did a terrible job with the Bondo and I'm gonna have to pay for this with sanding. It's gonna suck. It was a really big area and that's not something I'm super comfortable with. Also, I chose to do this first, which was a mistake because had I just done the other areas first, I would have like kind of gotten better at laying down the Bondo. Obviously I've laid down a bunch of Bondo on the bumpers, but this is my first time laying down Bondo today. So I'm not like warmed up. You know, you got to kind of get warmed up. You got to like get the feel. And I'll show you like towards the end on the last one that I did, it's much better. So I did this one next. This one is pretty rough as well. This one's okay. It does have kind of a high edge over here that I'm gonna have to sand down. This one is a little bit sloppy as well, but it should be manageable. I should be able to get it to look good. This one right here looks okay. It's a big area, but I got the Bondo down pretty thin and I really like smoothed out the edges. So there shouldn't be too many like high spots. Oh, I forgot I got Bondo on the glass. Either way, that's a big step forward because that was something I was not looking forward to, was Bondoing the body of the car. That just is not fun. Now that the Bondo's on, technically all I have left to do is sanding, primer, sanding, cleaning, and then painting. I'm getting close. I'm getting close. I still have load of sanding ahead of me. That Bondo was probably the last thing that I was like really dreading doing. Obviously I'm dreading the sanding too, but it's at least simple and mindless and can't really mess it up. It is now 3 a.m. and I have basically just been sanding since the last time I filmed. I am absolutely completely destroyed. I'm gonna go upstairs and knock out. Day 5 of working on the 8th gen, and thank God I finally have help. This is my brother Josh. I asked Josh to come by to help me do some sanding today, and this is, dude, thank you. Serious blessing, because this is day 5 of just banging my head against the wall. Thanks for coming through.
No problem.
We have a lot of sanding to do. We're starting off with the Bondo. We're starting with some 80 grit, knock down on the Bondo, then we're gonna hit everything 220, then 400, and then we'll lay down some primer. All right guys, Josh left for the day, and we were able to finish sanding the entire car. It is done being sanded and it is ready for primer. Now this is kind of where I have to get creative with how to move forward with the rest of the project. I'm not able to spray the car in this garage, so I'm gonna be spraying the car at home. And I also haven't primered anything yet, so there's a lot of bare metal on the car still. Now in order to primer the bare metal areas, I pretty much have to mask off the entire car. As you can see, I kind of already did that once. I kind of already have masked it off for sanding purposes. But all this blue painter's tape got pretty destroyed in the process of sanding. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove all the masking tape that's currently on the car. I'm gonna drive this car home and I'm gonna finish the rest of the project at home. That way I can wash the car, get it perfectly clean, and mask it off one time and not have to do it again. Then I'll primer everything. Then I'll get the spray booth set up, whatever. I guess I'll do it the other way. I'll get the spray booth set up and primer everything, whatever. I'll basically get everything ready to go at home, and then I'll spray the car hopefully on Friday. Today is Monday. I just sprayed the primer on the body. I'm gonna let the primer dry for a little bit. Then we're going to pull the car outside and start prepping the garage. I need to like leaf blower the garage out like 20 times. I need to start hanging plastic. I need to start moving stuff, getting it out of my way. This is gonna be a bit of a project. And boom, just like that, the car is masked off. That took me 4 hours. That was not fun. If I ever say on my channel, ever again in the future, that I'm gonna be painting one of my cars, please correct me in the comments and remind me just how bad this experience has been. Obviously the video that you're watching is, you know, maybe 20, 25 minutes or something like that. But my experience, I probably have close to 100 hours into this project. Is it worth it? Man, it would have been so much easier to pay somebody to do it. And I wouldn't have learned what I've learned, but honestly, like, I didn't really learn that much about this. So we'll see how it goes. Maybe it turns out immaculate and I'm like, all right, sick, it was worth it. Maybe it turns out bad and I'm like, I really wish that I didn't do this. We're gonna find out tomorrow, and that's really all I got for tonight. All right guys, I'm all set up to spray the rest of the parts. I'm gonna go ahead and throw in the GoPro and then I'm gonna start painting. I'm really excited to finish this step because 48 hours from now, I should be able to put the car back together and have a freshly painted 2008 Honda Civic Si.
Here goes.
All right guys, it's probably pretty loud in here. I finished spraying all the rest of the pieces with base coat and clear coat, so they are done. I have my diesel heater running. I don't know if the fumes from it are gonna mess up the paint. I really hope not. I'm hoping that the heat coming out of it is going to help it cure. I don't really know. I'm just giving it a shot. Everything looks okay. There's a lot of dust particles in these pieces. I think because I already painted in here, I tried to get it as clean as possible, but I think there was still just a lot of dust floating around in the air in this garage. I'll show you guys some close-ups on the panels, and then I guess we'll wait 48 hours till it's dry, and then we'll throw this stuff on the car. So you can see, nice finish, but lots of little specks of dirt and dust. This side's pretty good. There's areas that are better than others, for sure. But overall, I'm pretty dang happy with how this came out. All right, well, I'm gonna just let the diesel heater do its thing. I'm gonna set it to like 68 degrees and just let it keep, yep, it just turned off. It's at 70 degrees. Maybe I'll leave it at that. It's really nice in here right now, a good temp. So I'm gonna just leave it. I got the garage door cracked still. I got the fan pulling in fresh air. And I'm gonna just get out of here. And I'm just gonna leave this. I'm gonna go take a shower. Well, big fail. My bumper fell off of these wheels and onto the ground, and big defect in the front of the bumper. That is seriously so annoying. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do. I guess I'm just gonna have to deal with it. Maybe I'll be able to sand it down, maybe I won't, who knows.